Let's bring in our panel. Harold Ford Jr., former Tennessee Congressman, CEO of Empowerment Inclusion Capital. Morgan Ortagus, former State Department spokesperson, and Trey Gowdy, former Congressman from South Carolina. Trey, it is a little rich to hear all of the calls for police reform after what fell apart really at the last minute with Senator Scott's legislation.
Yeah, Brett, I mean, rich is one word. I mean, literally, Cory Booker and Dick Durbin and Kamala Harris are in the room with Tim Scott. And Cory Booker has always been an honest broker when it comes to negotiating. But Kamala Harris looked Tim Scott in the eyes and said, I don't care how many amendments you give me, we're not here to negotiate. So we could have had something last summer, but she put her political ambitions ahead of what's best for the country. Ironically, Brett, a week later, I'm sitting on a beach in South Carolina with Tim Scott. Karen Bass calls. There are other Democrats of goodwill that want to get this done. Unfortunately, Kamala Harris wasn't one of them.
I'd like to be sitting on the beach in South Carolina, but that's beside the point. Here we go. So last night, you had the president reacting to this verdict. And in that speech, Harold, here's a part of what he said about the country.
There was systemic racism that's a stain on our nation's soul. And this takes acknowledging and confronting head-on systemic racism and the racial disparities that exist in policing and in our criminal justice system more broadly. The battle for soul of this nation has been a constant push and pull for more than 240 years. A tug of war between the American ideal that we're all created equal and the harsh reality that racism has long torn us apart.
He and Vice President Harris talked about systemic racism a lot in that speech. I just want to read from this Washington Examiner op-ed really quickly. It's entitled, "No, Mr. President, the soul of America isn't racist." President Joe Biden is already starting to push people too far with his constant refrains about how racist this country is. He's overstating a very weak case, and he risks becoming like former President Jimmy Carter, when Carter's so-called malaise speech had the annoying effect, in the insightful words of Vice President Walter Mondale, of urging people to be as good as the government. The public and American culture are better than Biden says we are. He may soon see a backlash against him, not just for hectoring us, but for enlisting big government's might to promote and enforce his racialist agenda. I mean, interesting points there. I would like to get your reaction, Harold.
So good evening. Thanks for having me on. I think that whenever we are having conversations as a nation about how good we are, how better we can be, how bad we have been, how bad we may be at the moment, it invites an introspection, it invites an inspection of whom we are and what we want to be. And sometimes we hear things that are uncomfortable. I got to tell you, I don't know many of my white friends when I grew up in both Memphis and Washington whose parents had to sit with them and give them instructions on what to do if they see police officers, how they should behave. And that's just a fact of life for a lot of black families in the country. That doesn't mean that we're bad people. It just means that we can be better. What I was most relieved about last night, Brett, was that person, Derek Chauvin, who did what he did, who committed that murder, he was a bad guy, is a bad guy, who just happened to be a police officer. I was pleased today to see Merrick Garland and others do everything they possibly could to elevate the notion of good policing and to say that good policing is rewarded. Communities are made safer if we go after bad policing. Would you have said it differently than Joe Biden or Kamala Harris, any of us on this panel, Tim Scott included? Maybe so. Did Tim Scott's legislation fall prey or victim to politics? Maybe, perhaps, but it wouldn't be the first. What I hope now is that we're able to rise to this moment. And I said last night, I hope the president and the vice president, I believe they are ready and willing to come to the table to negotiate and find common ground and compromise and pass a serious and meaningful police reform bill.
Mm-hmm. Well, I guess, Morgan, what I'm talking about is on the campaign trail, candidate Joe Biden talked a lot about speaking to our better angels, yet the messaging seemed to not be that as of late. It does not seem to be speaking to how good we are as a country inherently, overall. Yes, there are some bad folks out there doing bad things and have for years, but justice worked, in the words of many lawmakers yesterday. Your thoughts, Morgan?
Yeah, I mean, first of all, I love hearing my friend Harold Ford explain this in his perspective. If we had him in the Senate, maybe Tim Scott's legislation would get through and it'd be a little bit more bipartisan than what we're seeing today. And Brett, what you said is I think resonating with many Americans. And I think there's a lot of people that made the calculation in November that they were going to vote for Joe Biden because they thought, you know what, there's just too much drama. The temperature is up too much in the country. We need to be able to come together, and it's just too much. I want it dialed back. I think there was a lot of people who voted for Joe Biden for that reason and thought that they were getting a moderate, calming, older, more genteel president who would be able to bring the country together at a very fractured time. Instead, what you're seeing is an agenda that is a very, very hard drive to the left. It's not bipartisan. It's not inclusive. And in fact, it's taking the tenuous place that we are in society now and it's kind of lighting it on fire. I don't see anybody willing to bring both sides together. And it's a huge problem that has me very concerned for the country, Brett.
Quickly, Trey, Merrick Garland and what he's starting to initiate with this investigation, eventually, if it leads to something in Minneapolis, they want them to sign a consent decree, which essentially would mean federal rules on how they police there, right?
Right, it's a patterns and practice lawsuit in addition to the individual lawsuit with respect to George Floyd. But I think, Brett, our viewers need to keep in mind the overwhelming majority of policing in this country is done by state and local cops. So if you really want to improve law enforcement, don't run for the Senate, run for sheriff.
There you go. We'll leave it there. Much more to talk about on this subject when we come back. Tomorrow's Headlines Tonight.
When we heard there was money in our home, we did what anyone would do. We went looking for it.
Oh, you did?
I did.
Nothing! Then we heard about Rocket Mortgage, and with just a few taps, you can turn your home's equity into cash. Consolidate your debt, pay off student loans.
Renovate your home.
Fix your home.
Fix your home.
When you need cash out of your home and a simple way to get it, Rocket can.
Great job, honey.
Rocket.
So worth it.
Age is just a number, and mine's unlisted.
Try Boost High Protein with 20 grams of protein for muscle health versus 16 grams in Ensure High Protein. Boost High Protein also has key nutrients for immune support. Boost High Protein.
At Aspen Dental, today is the day to take back your smile. Why wait? We're your nights, weekends, and right now to give you exceptional care and 20% off your treatment plan. New patients take the first step with a complete exam and x-rays that are free without insurance. Because our nationwide network of over 1,500 doctors at 900 locations all have one goal: to make you smile today. Start now. Call 1-800-ASPEN-DENTAL or book online at aspendental.com.
Okay, at AT&T, everyone gets our best deals on all smartphones. Let me break it down. You got your new customers. They get our best deals. You got your existing customers. They also get our best deals. Everyone gets the deals. Questions?
Got it. But why did you use a permanent marker?
Because I want to make sure you remember. I'm going to get a new whiteboard.
It's not complicated. Only AT&T gives new and existing customers the same great deals on all smartphones. Get up to $800 off our latest 5G smartphones.
Tired of sorting pills?
This has been my nightmare. 19 different medications that I try to sort every week, taking up to an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. What a pain.
John discovered Hero, the smart device that helps you manage your meds, loaded up with the pills you need to take. It pre-sorts them and dispenses them at just the right time.
It's so easy to use and saves me so much time. I would highly recommend this machine to anyone.
For just $29.99 a month, Hero can help you or a loved one stay independent.
So I literally get 90 days supply, open the machine and dump in 90 days of small pills, and I'm good to go.
We are so confident you will love Hero. We offer a 30-day no-risk guarantee.
It really has been a lifesaver for me and my dad.
Go to HeroTV.com for a special TV offer. That's HeroTV.com. Hero, medication managed.
Are you embarrassed by ugly, infected toes? Chances are you're suffering with toe fungus. Hiding it won't help, but Fungi Cure can. Fungi Cure is the strongest medicine you can get without a prescription. Fungi Cure eliminates 6 types of fungus to help your toes get back to normal in as little as 4 weeks. So cure the fungus and start feeling good about your toes again. Nothing is stronger without a prescription. Get Fungi Cure now in the foot care aisle.
Renee is not an influencer. She's more of a groundbreaker. Renee runs with us on a John Deere 1 Series tractor. Because out here, you can't fake a job well done. Hear Renee's story at Deere.com.
Tex-Mex.
Tex-Mex. Termites. Oh, back up! Hang on. I am hanging on.
Don't mess up your deck with Tex-Mex. It's Terminex.
Hi.
The only way to nix it is to Terminex it.
Finally, tonight, a look at tomorrow's headlines with the panel. Morgan.
So you had talked about Russia earlier in your segment. So my headline for tomorrow is Russian tanks flood into Ukraine to promote educational and cultural exchanges.
Oh, dear. Trey.
Ohio cop criticized for shooting knife-wielding young woman, but would have been criticized had he allowed the knife-wielding young woman to kill a victim. Either way, the cops are going to get criticized.
Some amazing tweets about all that today. Harold.
Terrible story there. Darnella Frazier is a hero. She's slated to win the Presidential Medal of Freedom. That young lady's camera is going to make us all safer. Cops, communities, kids, and courts and judges.
All right, panel, thank you.